What is up, guys? The Strong Boys 19 here. Right now we are going to go back into the Halloween franchise, and this is it. This is it for me to dive into movie number 3, where I'm going to be talking about the next installment to the franchise, this movie right here. Halloween 3 Season of the Witch was released in 1982, and this is the second sequel to be released in the franchise. This is the follow-up to Halloween 2, which was released the previous year. Rick Rosenthal did direct that movie, but once again, like Halloween 2, Carpenter didn't want to direct this movie, although the ideas that Carpenter had in mind for this movie is on a totally different aspect, on scenes, concepts, characters, and design. Halloween 3 still gets a lot of polarizing, mixed responses to many fans, and as the years went on, some of the Halloween fans would say that this movie is a cult following classic, and if you like this movie, that is no problem whatsoever in my mind. The budget for this movie is, once again, like Halloween 2, $2.5 million, but the budget is very, very low. It is on $14.4 million. So what Carpenter had in mind for making this movie is that he wanted to make a separate Halloween film that's totally in a different environment than having another concept with Michael Myers in this movie. Now, this movie takes place in the evening of October 23rd, where a character named Harry Grimbridge was chased from a group of people by mysterious men in suits. And after that, he enters a gas station, but he was holding a jack-o'-lantern mask, and he was taken to hospital. Then we see the main protagonist in the movie, named Dr. Daniel Chalice, who is portrayed from Tom Atkins. And as the movie goes on, Harry Grimbridge was murdered. The daughter of Harry, Ellie Grimbridge, portrayed by Stacey Nelkin, decides to be interested to find out these mysterious results of what has been happening. We hear some very melodramatic and pointless dialogue of Chalice's family being very difficult and trying to convince his ex-wife and children to make promises on the phone, and he just keeps breaking them, and basically his life is on a shamble. And some points in this movie, he just flirts with different women, and the dialogue, some of the weirdest, cringe-worthy dialogue in this movie has been added in. Well, anyhow, there are some points in the film where Dr. Daniel Chalice and Ellie Grimbridge decide to be together, finding out the company that made these kinds of masks that were in heavy promotions, that has been on TV a lot with the commercials, a company named Silver Shamrock. And we get to see some scenes that were really awkward. I mean, Ellie is a lot younger than Dr. Chalice. Dr. Chalice is like in his late 40s or 50s, but Ellie is like in her mid or late 20s, for God's sake. The pacing of this movie is really, really slow, and we see some more of the mysterious, sharp-dressed men killing more of the characters one by one, and to see the logo of Silver Shamrock that has like a microchip that one of the later uninspiring characters does get killed from the microchip of the badge, and that she was electrocuted. But the characters were very, very bland, and really non-descriptive. Another gripe that I have with this movie is the performances. When I look at Tom Atkins' face and his expressions as Dr. Chalice, he lacks a lot of emotion. It just feels like a one blank stare. Like that. We see the boss and the main villain called Colonel Cochrane, who is the owner of Silver Shamrock, who's portrayed by Dan O'Herlihy, who later on acts the character as the old man from OCP in one of the best films of all time, RoboCop, in 1987. Yeah, he is the main villain that totally had a plan in the first place to sell these masks and seeking revenge to kill these children who put these masks on and try to seek revenge, and has a reference of bringing in the times of the ancient age of witchcraft into his plan in the first place. You know, this whole movie could have been better if it was, on a different type of movie. But in Halloween, of one of the biggest influential horror franchises of all time, Halloween 3 Season of the Witch is, in my opinion, one of the most boring and uninteresting sequels. Yet I give Tommy Lee Wallace a lot of credit for writing this movie, and he did direct this movie as well. Some of the shots were very, very well shot from these different locations, and I would give the main cast members in this film some credit. Experience of this movie has a total lack of suspense, thrills, and some of these killings in this film are downright hilarious. But all that aside, Halloween 3 Season of the Witch is nowhere near being one of the worst movies of all time in my opinion, but it was such a forced, derivative, and cheap movie that feel like a complete joke. And I hate to say that. Let me know what you think of this movie in the comments below. And I'm going to give Season of the Witch a 2 out of 5 star rating. It is not garbage. It is not a great movie, obviously, but it's just really mundane and a pointless sequel to the Halloween franchise. And that's really all I've got to say about this movie. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll keep you guys posted for more videos in the near future.